Hey guys, it's Laura Giles with Pan Society. Thanks for tuning in. I have noticed that there is a little thing that can slow down your spiritual growth. You might not know if you're doing it or if somebody else is doing it. I'm going to give you some tips on how to spot it and to know if it's slowing you down right after this. Okay, so what am I talking about? Well, there's this thing called inflation. Now, what does that sound like to you? Inflation's about making something bigger, puffing it up, right? Like you inflate your tire or you inflate an inner tube so that you can go down a river. Yeah, it's taking something that's maybe flat or small and making it bigger. So inflation is just that. So in this case, we're talking about ego inflation. So sometimes when we're new to something and we discover something, it's like the whole world opens up for us and we can think that we're the only ones that know it because maybe in our circle, we are the only ones that know it and we haven't connected yet with other people who have discovered it. Or maybe we met other people and that's how we got there, but it's a small group, so it seems like it's an elite kind of thing. And that can make us feel self-important. The problem with that is that we're always growing. We're always reaching new plateaus. And if we think we're there, then we may stop going. And if we think that we're better than other people, then we may start isolating ourselves from other people. And that's how we learn, is by connecting with people who are not like us. So we make ourselves into this little tiny elite pool who are maybe really important people in our own minds, and we're neglecting all of the knowledge that's going on around us. We're not tapping into that. And one of the ways that you can spot if you're doing this is, one, look for labels. So how do you identify? If you're calling yourself something by something that is unique or high status or special in some way, like oh, I'm a light worker. Oh, I'm enlightened. I am awakened. I am a shaman. You might be engaging in inflation. Now, this is not to say that these things aren't true, but labels can separate us and pump up our ego. So you might want to be careful about labels. Another way to spot if you're doing this, or if somebody around you is doing this, is to look at how much they talk about themselves. I had this great experience and, I have these great skills. I can do this, I can do that. And they're not really all that interested in you. Now, you're the center of your universe. I hope that you think that you're super important. I think you're super important. But, that's sovereignty. And then the next piece is connection. So you also want to be connected to other people around you. And it's easier to do that when you're on equal footing. So when you start isolating yourself by titles, and this is not to say that you haven't earned one. If you're a PhD, put that doctor by your name. You earned that. Not everybody can do that. So I'm not saying, don't claim your titles. Be proud of your titles. But if you kind of live in there and that becomes your identity, you could be engaging in inflation. So another thing to look out for is groupies. So if somebody is engaging in inflation and so here I am, I'm this titled person, position, and I'm telling these people about how great I am, and they're just like, oh, you're so fabulous, and they start gathering around me and I start creating disciples, probably engaging in inflation. So whether you're the one that's being up there that's being worshipped, or if you're a worshiper, that's probably going to slow you down. Because if I have an audience, now I have to pander to my audience. Now I have to live up to this title. And that means I can't make mistakes. It means that I can't be human and I can't really relate to them on an equal level. And that creates separation too. Or if I am the one that's doing the worshiping, now in order for me to be a worshiper, my ego has to be smaller so that I can inflate this one. And there's a power differential. So it's not good for either side. So just want to talk about this thing, put it out there, give you something to think about. Again, there's nothing wrong with new discoveries. There's nothing wrong with stepping it up in a really big way and being like, wow, my eyes are open, and being a part of a new group, an exciting group, and even having a new name for yourself. But be careful about what it means. It's really the meaning underneath all of these things that will create whether or not it's inflation. If it means I'm separating myself, if it means I'm boosting up my ego, probably inflation, and that's going to slow you down. So hope that tip was helpful. Please keep sending in your questions and comments. It does help us to know what to talk about. What are you interested in? We want to keep it interesting and we want to keep it engaging. So thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video. Ciao.